Contrast is used heavily in graphic design, and it's when two visual elements are dramatically different. The greater the difference, the greater the contrast, and the key to working with contrast in graphic design is making sure the differences are obvious to the viewer. Now, you can create contrast in size, in value, in color, type, and of course some other elements too. But how can this actually help your designs excel to new heights, and also wow viewers who marvel at your work, and also not to mention to boost your graphic design portfolio? We're going to find out in today's video, so do stay tuned. Now quickly, the three main reasons for using contrast in graphic design are firstly that you can emphasize the important aspect of the design and direct the reader's eye to that point. Now the second reason is that you can create contrast on type to draw attention to specific bits of information that you want readers to read and take note of. The third point is one of the most fundamental, and that is to literally create interest and a hook for viewers to come into your design and to be drawn into your work. So let's take a look at some really great examples of contrast in graphic design and why and how you can use them as inspiration for your very own work. Now, size is an easy way to create contrast. Placing two elements next to each other that are similar in every aspect apart from their size is one way to bring size contrast to the table of your design. It can be a big and a small image or a big and a small typeface. But leaving plenty of white space around a small object is another way to create contrast in size. Your eyes are drawn to the large text pretty much straight away, and this feels natural. It's something big besides something small, and this will indicate the big item for more significance to the bigger item. Having a contrast of size adds visual interest into the composition, and it's going to help you establish the key elements in your layout so you can be sure the viewer is focusing in the right area. Now, if you have two or more elements on your design that utilize contrast in terms of darkness and lightness, this will be very striking to the viewer, and it can come across as very professional if executed well. Using light and dark text is a great way to make use of this kind of contrast, and I'm sure you've seen this many times before. But you certainly don't have to have just, black and white as the color palette to create high contrast through the use of darkness and lightness. So now we're moving on to the color itself, and this is one of my personal favorites in terms of contrast. I love to use it on things like brochures, on posters, or editorial designs. It can really make your design stand out, pop, and look very neat and very well done. Now often, the name of the game here is to use complementary or opposite colors that have the most contrast, but you can also use schemes such as red and white, black and yellow, and so forth, things that work really well together in terms of contrast. Now, typography is a huge part of graphic design, and using contrast within typography should not be overlooked at all. One of the main ways is to find two fonts that contrast each other in style, so maybe a bold font and a thin font. Use one as the header and then use one as the main body text as an example. You can also use contrast in typography in terms of italics, alignment, tracking, and also other things too. But yeah, creating contrast with typography is hugely powerful, and I do suggest you always try and implement this in some way or shape or form in your graphic designs. So you know how I do things here at Satori Graphics. I like to try and keep as much good, quality content in a short scale space of time. If you want to see more of this content, let me know down below, and of course subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content if you haven't done already. If you're one of those great people who have done, remember to turn on the bell icon so you never miss an upload from me, Tom Satori. Also, just tell me whatever you want to see on this channel, because I want to bring you guys the most relevant, the most useful, and the most interesting content for you and your graphic design skills or your careers. This was a brief rundown of contrast in graphic design, and I hope you did learn a thing or two today. Make sure you do have a great day, and until next time, design your future today. Peace.